Okay. I don't know. No show notes. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
And Hannah.
I wonder if... Never mind. No. I was like, I wonder if it should be... I should say Rebecca, and you say Liz, and she says Hannah. Or wait...
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We could change it up next time.
I don't know. It's not, you know. I like that you get to say your name.
Show
What?
notes.
The show Shake It Up, you know, my generation and a little bit below me, they do the Shake It Up. I watched it maybe twice, but I wasn't allowed to watch Disney. Hi, I'm pre-coffee.
I'm just trying to follow, but I don't know half of what... But okay. Mm-hmm. What's the show Shake It Up? Not show, not
It was
song.
Zendaya pre-Zendaya, and it was Bella Thorne pre-Bella Thorne.
Got it. I've seen some pictures of Zendaya when she was in, like, the Disney stuff, and I was
Yeah, that was her that was her Disney.
like... Okay.
Yeah. I don't know anything other than that little, like...
I was trying to say, what's the song Shake It Up? Shake It Up.
Is it the theme song for the show?
Yeah.
No.
But I have
No, I'm thinking of something different. That's what I'm... Never mind.
I don't know.
I have no idea then.
It's a Taylor Swift song, I think,
Oh.
that I'm thinking of. It has nothing to do... Let me be clear. It has nothing to do with what she brought up. That's where my brain went.
I don't know any of it.
So. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber. In finally sunny, always hot, has been raining, maybe won't today, but probably will. Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
I'm Hannah. I'm minion number 2.
What were you laughing at?
It's the patterning that she has, the way that she's crossing it out.
Okay, because I was like,
sometimes I cross them out in different directions.
I was like,
okay.
that doesn't look humorous. It looks like keep a track of a pat. No, it's all good.
See, if you look at this one, they go all wonky.
Yeah, the mind would boggle for me. I would get so
I see
lost.
kind of a pattern like this, and that you can't see what we're looking at. Liz has creative ways of keeping track of her patterns with columns and numbers, and I think that's great because we'll get to it, but you're doing the same pattern
For 2 sweaters.
for 2 sweaters for different people, but we'll get to that later. Suspense. I'm building suspense.
Hanging from a
Cliffhanger, hanging from cliff. Okay. That's for only certain generations, too.
It is.
Yeah. You know it. I've learned it from her. I might have actually seen it when I was taking care of Ben when he was really little, and he's going to college in the fall. That's so crazy. Okay. I'm getting off track.
Not read between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Good morning. So let's see. We have bunches of things to do today with the show. We have one question, right? Which we will address as best we can. We're going to talk about all the things we're doing, which we always do. I have a sale announcement, but I'm going to wait to tell you the code. I'm mean. We're going to celebrate that it's summer. Woohoo! But that's not the whole code name. And, what?
It would be very long.
We've gone through.
No,
Here's the
I was
code.
saying,
Oh,
it's
that
not
would be
just-
really long.
It's not just the word summer. So that's my only hint. But and my whole sentence would definitely be very long.
Celebrate it, summer.
Oh. Okay, so yes, I'm building suspense, and we want to talk about other stuff first. So stay tuned. We're gonna have a sale in the online shop and in person, through the weekend, basically. So, like if you come in to shop, you can get the same discounts, not just in the online shop. But before that, and I have to put a disclaimer on this because I want to advertise for the General Coach and Connect that's coming up, and I don't know if I can exclude it from the sale because it's too hard. The way the sale is set up online is you have to like, you can't exclude items. You have to pick the items that are going to be on sale. So I'd have to pick everything in the online shop except for the General Coach and Connect to exclude it from the sale. So please, if you want to join Coach and Connect, buy that without the sale code. I can only ask. I can't like make you do it because it's too hard with the settings in the online shop. Anyway, just a reminder that our General Coach and Connect, which is different than Sit and Stitch. Sit and Stitch is just hangout time on Zoom. Don't need any money to join it. You just come and hang out with us. It's the shop phone number when we have it. And that's, right now, that's every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m.
And once a month on Sunday.
And once a month on Sunday. And the shop phone number is?
828-877-3550.
And I think we're looking at July 20th for the next one. Because I'm going to be away for the Sunday that we would be having it, like right in the middle of the month. But the Coach and Connect, which is different than the Sit and Stitch. I'm not being confusing at all, I know. Nope. Nope. The Coach and Connect, if you'd like assistance with patterns and things you're working on, if you want to come specifically to get immediate feedback from us, it's mostly going to be me and Liz. I haven't like forced Hannah to join it yet. So, but if you want to come and get answers instead of asking in this format, you want to get direct feedback and hang with us and learn from us. That is going to be June. We're going to do it the last Sunday of every month. It's for 2 hours on that Sunday. This month it's going to be June 29th. From 2 to 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. And the way you gain access, because it's not the shop phone number to get into that, the way you get the Zoom code to join is you can purchase it in the online shop for $25, or you can be a patron over on Patreon at the $25 or higher level, is how we're doing access to that. And we're going to give a sneak peek to some Patreon people this month. But that's the only time that anyone who's under the $25 level will get a sneak peek. So that's June 29th. I wanted to make sure I said that. So this is the closest thing I have to show notes right now. Because we usually say no show notes. This is a sticky note worth of show notes. Because I wanted to not forget to say that. Because I'm at the age, which honestly I've been at this age for a while, that if I don't write things down and make lists, I don't do things. Like, grocery store, I can walk in with a mantra of get this, get this, get this, get this. If it's not on my shopping list, I will get home and go poop because I didn't get it. Honestly, that's been me for several years now. But anyway, so we will make sure that we say the sale code before we leave today. But right now, do we want to do a question?
We could do the question.
Wait, but if you're not at the end of your row yet.
It's okay.
Okay. I'm a big fan of getting to the end of your row, but
well, I know where I am.
Yeah.
I know where I am. It's all good. Live life dangerously.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Our question. You all bring a smile to my day. Question for Rebecca. I'm ready to begin the key sweater using the same Patagonia yarn. I know you said you got gauge with a size 8 needle. What size needle did you use for the neck? I was a little concerned using a size 6 needle would be tight. Thank you again.
Okay. So this sweater, I believe, the key sweater by Petite Knit, it's still on the barber cords from the last time I tried it on, probably here. So I have not made any progress on it. There's been too many other things going on. I believe it's written for a 7. And just as an aside, thank you. Just because I got gauge on an 8 doesn't mean everyone else will too. But, or using the same yarn, that will work for everybody. I think the reason she's asking is because the collar is high. That's why I put this on again. the collar is a high one. I mean, you can fold it down. And most times, most sweaters, and it sounds like this one did too, and I'm kind of going around that I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I followed the instructions. I know it hasn't been that long ago, but I'm working on too many projects.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. So most times the collar and the cuffs and the hem of a sweater will go down like 2 needle sizes. Because ribbing, if it's done in ribbing, can be floofy, will look bigger. Like a knit one, purl one, those knit stitches and stuff will look bigger than the rest of it, or will fluff. I later might be trying on my Ranunculus, and I didn't change needle sizes for the ends of the sleeves, and it does fluff out a little bit. It's also probably the yarn. I don't know, because I'm using like a cotton. So I think the writer is concerned that this will be too tight on their neck. And I'm pretty sure I used a 6 for this. Because if I got gauge here, I used the smaller needle up here. Because I'm a fan of, following the pattern so people will know how it turns out by following the pattern. Although I did change up my color palette here, right? Overall, I am okay with the idea of going down. Sometimes I'll go down more than 2 sizes, and it's still ribbing has room in it. So this person was concerned about it being too tight, right?
Mm-hmm. And we were talking yesterday about, like, I don't generally change sizes of needles. Mm-hmm. And if you're worried about it being too tight, do the collar, put it on a barber cord, and see if you can pull it over your head.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Like, you know, and then you know, hey, this is too tight, and
it's right at the beginning, so there's a chance. I know it took me like months to get through the ribbing, but that's because I just wasn't excited by it. Once I got through the ribbing, the rest of the sweater has been like kabam. And but that doesn't mean it takes a long time. It's just ribbing is annoying.
And you don't even have to do the whole collar to see if it fits. I do it like 2 inches, maybe 3.
Yeah, to see how it feels around your neck. Also, just because she did a high collar, this is 4 inches of ribbing. Just because the pattern writer did, doesn't mean you have to. So, Liz wouldn't. So, I think it was Kathleen yesterday was saying how she kind of like for those of us who don't like when we feel like things are getting thick down here, it actually, I was worried about it, and now I'm kind of like, ooh, look, that gives me a jawline again. But you don't have to make it that high. If you don't like a tighter neck, don't go down on needles, or you could change your cast on even. You can get more off the pattern depending on what you like up here, but it means you have to be more responsible for figuring out what to do. What? Okay.
Just keep going. Ignore me.
It's just you can like. So when people want to modify the pattern, I'm like, go with your bad self, but know that, like, I may not be able to help you with that because it's not what I would do. It's like you have to assume the risk, and if it doesn't work, you try again.
And there are easy ways to modify, like, raglan's a little bit harder than in the round.
Yeah.
Increases or all over increases.
We're changing it here, like, right?
For the Ranunculus, I always, make a bigger neckline because I like the big, But there are some, ways I would, cast on and maybe do 4 rows of neck.
I had someone write me about the Flax make-along we're doing right now. And by the way, the Coach and Connect for that's a specific Coach and Connect, is tomorrow night, the second session. That one you got to buy into as well. And that's, you don't have, even though if you missed the first session, you can still jump into that if you want. You purchase that in the online shop as well. But I had someone who said they decided to, they wanted a tighter collar. So they cast on the collar for a smaller size. And they're like, right after you do the collar, Then you have to do all over increases before you start the raglan to jump into the next piece. And you have to figure out how to evenly distribute those. And she was like, I started with this size, but I want to continue with this size. I'm like, okay, here's the math. That one was a little easier to do because it was just one set of increases. It was like, instead of, like, the instructions said increase so many stitches all over to get you to X number of stitches. And that number to increase had shifted because she had a smaller number here and needed to go to a bigger number here. And I'm like, okay, so here's the math on how you have to figure that out. It was basically take your cast on number and take the number you're supposed to hit for your size. Like, ignore the whole, this is how many you increase. Just take the final number, subtract your cast on number, and that was like 28 for this person. And I'm like, now divide that cast on number by 28, and that'll tell you about how many stitches you need between your increases to spread them out. It's not an exact science. Sometimes it goes off, so you got to check towards the end of your row. But that's one example of
fun and games of knitting math.
And it's like, if that makes you feel like that face Hannah just made, you might just want to stick to the pattern and not change things. And, yeah, so, but if that's like, oh yeah, that's easy, and everyone's going to have a different reaction to what I just said. If you're like, cool, I never thought about it that way, I love math, let's go do this, then have fun.
I most of the time call you and go, math.
Mm-hmm. And all that higher level math I got to in college, which I don't really remember, I use the more algebraic base level of math now to, like, do fun things in the shop. Anyway, magic math for knitters. Woohoo!
Letters and numbers should
Never.
Letters and numbers are how I figure out how to adapt things for a pattern. I will write an equation, and I love it.
I know.
I love it.
No.
Salt for X.
I'd almost rather eat onions.
Okay.
I love onions.
Moving
Fry
on.
them up in a pan.
Sorry.
We want to talk about mushrooms?
Those are gross too.
That's how I get us to change subjects. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off now because this neck is lovely, but not in the middle of summer. So, yeah,
You will make a great winter sweater. Oh.
It's going around me. Boop. Said no knitter ever. Having problems with yarn. All right, so that was our question. Remember, if you would like to ask a question about knitting and crochet stuff. I don't know why I had to pause there and remember what we were talking about. Like, I wouldn't give relationship advice or anything, but I can talk about knitting and crochet.
All things yarn.
Yeah, you can always write us. If you want to send us a card, you would be writing us at 181 Rosman Highway, Brevard, North Carolina, 28712, or you can email
Liz at sundragonartandfiber.com.
Okay. Or you can come to Coach and Connect, the General Coach and Connect, on June 29th. That does cost money, but then you get to ask follow-up questions, too. So, and we get to keep the lights on, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So.
As opposed to off?
Yes.
As opposed to not paying the electric bill and we can't turn the lights on. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
That's the keep the lights on phrase. Yeah, if people don't come to Coach and Connect, we're gonna sell stuff in the dark.
Okay.
All right. So moving on.
Did you stay at the best restaurant last night?
No.
Just curious.
I think I'm gonna be
Holiday
staying
Inn
at a
Express.
comfort
Oh,
inn.
that one!
Oh, I totally forgot that was out on the parking lot. I was gonna pick that up when I came in, and I forgot. I may go do that after. Yeah, I was gonna go out with a garbage bag, and pick things up with the garbage. There's several things outside that people have left behind that I don't want to touch with my actual hands. But I do want to clean up. I promise it's not that gross outside. It's just there's a few random things that people leave. Not our shoppers. Anyway. That's cute. Is that the front of the...
This is the left side piece.
I like it. I like that the inside has a different texture than the outside.
Yes.
And the inside's cute, but the outside's cuter.
Yes.
Okay, now that I've said that, I'm going to transition to what we're working on. Because Hannah's thing distracted me, and it's super cute. And do we want you to get to an end of a row before we show it off? Or
No, it's fine.
okay. We're all living dangerously today. What are you working on, Hannah?
My lovely, lovely man.
You see what happened was. Go ahead.
He saw my cardigans and was like, ooh, I would love one. And so I have decided that my man is knitworthy. And I made him scour the internet for a pattern that he liked. And vetoed many, many, many because he had a knack for choosing terrible, terrible patterns. And
now I want to see some of
weren't
these patterns.
no.
they weren't necessarily terrible. They actually looked really cool, but they were overly complicated.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
They were excessive.
Yes.
I can understand that.
They were patterns I
People who
wouldn't do for
don't knit
myself.
don't often understand what goes into what. They'll pick the one that's like, what? You want me to?
He wanted a basic cardigan, and he went like the around and about way. He found the patterns that went up and over Montana to get down to Mexico.
Oh, God.
And I was like, why? So eventually we settled on it's a pieced cardigan that is textured. And I have found that I'm not a huge fan of pieced, but it's
What does
okay.
that mean for people who don't know what that means?
It means that each piece, each part of your body is a different, it's knit
Be like,
separately. Right? Do the Macarena
Head,
with me.
shoulders, knees, and toes.
So
knees and
it's made
So
in
the-
pieces.
yeah,
Right?
so,
Yeah.
like-
So what pieces are you making?
This one will be the left front, the right front, the left sleeve. I did the wrong one. The right sleeve, the left sleeve.
So we're looking at mirror images of
And-
ourselves, so it's really hard. I get
and
it.
the back.
I get it.
They're all going to be different pieces.
Okay. And
So-
and you finished a piece though, right?
I finished what I'm hoping will be the biggest piece. And it's the back
Okay.
piece. I let him choose the colors. He's doing what we're calling an 80s style astrological. So he chose a bunch of like astrological colors, but they're all different.
And we might want a different. I'm trying to find the right creed because it's not
It's like
astrology.
blacks
It's astronomy,
and-
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Astronomical. That
There
one.
we go. Because I'm like
I always
astrology. I'm like
confuse the two.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I'm like that's the Pisces Gemini,
Yeah.
the astrological.
So it's
Okay.
like blacks, blues, purples, and then he was adorable. He wants to do like an apple green for the Martians. Is what he said for one of the
So it's a
sleeves.
space themed.
It's a space
Yeah,
And-
astronomy.
and
That's
it's color
awesome.
blocked.
Awesome. So what is that?
The 80s being each piece is
chunks
a
of
Yeah,
different
each
color.
piece is a different color.
So what color was the back? I think we
The
showed it
back
off last
was-
week, right?
The back was black.
Okay.
So all said and done, it's a very tall man's black
And
Piece.
the yarn is
cumulus.
Juniper Moon Cumulus, which is why there's a little.
yes, it's
like-
Juniper Moon's cumulus.
That's okay.
It's so soft.
I fill in extra things I feel like filling in. So it's very, very soft. I'm noticing when the camera hits it, it looks like see-through, but it's not going to be see-through.
No.
It's just, Liz is like, woo! It's the way the light's hitting it with nothing behind it. When it's on a person,
I don't want to get
it's not going to be
lipstick
see-through. Yeah, don't do that. It's got awesome texture. So the back, okay, moving on. Because even though we all got in here on time, it always happens. Like I love the texture on that. I bet the
It's
the
really
back
cool.
is black,
Yeah.
and you're doing one of the front panels
One of the front panels is
in like a nice
in-
turquoisey blue,
Yeah.
teal blue, something
it's
like
in a
that.
turquoise.
That's cool.
Teal is awful.
Turquoise. Excuse my words there. I think one of our yarns calls things teal tulip, and
Oh,
it's
that's
not.
interesting.
or the tulip is kind of a tealy color, which is why. Okay. Can you hold that up for one more second? Just the front part of it? Because I think the texture shows on this piece
it does.
more than on the black. So I just wanted to show people at home the texture. It's really fun. Do you remember the name of the pattern? It's okay if you don't.
I don't, and I don't have my phone in front of me.
That's okay. If people ask, we'll respond in the comments.
Yeah.
Like if you comment, like, what is it called? I want to see it. We'll put it under that comment.
I found
we'll keep
it
track
on,
of that.
I think, Etsy.
Okay.
Question mark?
Question mark. That's okay.
I
Awesome.
think it was Etsy.
Pretty sure.
Are you monogamously knitting this right now?
No, I switch back and forth between, I have a crochet project going, I have this, and I still am working on my dark matter.
And that's the,
But,
I think if you were, there were times when you were just like, with the back. So,
yeah.
so like having something else to kind of make go, I think is a good idea. So cool. Cool. I find, for me personally, and I know, say, Jan from the UK and others are different, I find if I try to be a monogamous knitter, like, in theory, things will get finished faster, but if it starts to, like, boil my blood, like, and I get really frustrated with it, it's not going to go faster.
I get all kinds of
Heebie-jeebies?
brain. Yeah, my brain's like, you're doing. Wait, what? And
Yeah. Liz, what are you doing? She's got charts with numbers that she's
I have
crossing
charts
out,
with
but
numbers.
What's the whole? What's with that?
Well, before I get to that, I made a new dress.
Oh, we gotta talk about that. Ooh.
It's plaid. Hannah doesn't like it. And it's even better because she doesn't like it.
Hannah
Anyway.
likes her hat.
Yes, I made the dress to go with the hat because it's,
Oh, the hat has velvet.
Is that a no
It's
for
a
you?
texture. It's a texture.
You don't
thing.
have to. You don't.
It
You don't
looks
have
pretty,
to.
But it's a texture thing.
You don't have to like put your hands on her hat.
Please.
I think this.
I was gonna say.
I'm gonna make a velvet dress.
I was gonna say other things, but we are a kid-friendly show, so you don't have to. You don't have to touch that.
So, this is my new. This was my hat that I was like, ooh, I need it.
I
And
love. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I wanna. Okay.
You wanna?
I want people to see the.
Oh yeah, it's
That.
got the peacock swords that are curled, and then peacock feathers over the other side.
These are called swords. That's
Yep.
cool. I didn't know that. I've learned something
Sword
today.
feathers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They're curled. They're
I
really
only know
cute.
that because
Okay.
I've ordered them and played with them.
We have
so-
such a colorful backdrop. I just wanted people to see that. Okay. Yeah.
Hannah's having a moment. Anyway, I finished.
I'm sitting on my projects. That's not good.
I finished my ranunculus.
Yay!
I won't try it on because getting it over my hat's going to be fun and exciting,
jeez.
and but it's done. No ends woven in, but it's done.
What do you want to tell people about it?
It's juniper moon cumulus on a size 11, and I started with 90 stitches for my neck,
Okay.
and I crocheted the bottom hems.
And the only time she let more than just a silvery purple sneak in is during that crochet bottom.
Yep. Shout out to Marie. She came on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday, and she used this same colorway for a crocheted shawl, and I like it crocheted better than knit. But
I
it's
was
really
saying, I tried to say you like it better because the purple was left in it, but she said no.
I like just the way crochet chunks colors.
Yeah.
So, but before I
You have some
finished,
crochet on there.
before I finished this, I started a sweater for me.
Boop.
Oh yes, always a stitch marker. I started another sweater.
Never a stitch.
It too is a pieced sweater. It's got cables.
So I love that both Hannah and Liz are making pieced sweaters, which is the I don't want to say old fashioned. It's the more
I'm not
traditional.
copying you.
This is the third time.
Are you all making cardigans too?
Yes.
Okay. It's the more traditional. It's the older form of making garments. In terms of more modern knitting, is making the pieces, making things flat, and sewing them together. And there's a huge trend now of not like the ranunculus, making things top down, no sewing. But pieced sweaters have a longer history and more structure, so they fit differently. And some people really prefer that, but not many people are writing for that anymore.
No. And so this is the sweater I'm making. And it's in this book, which is no longer published.
Hence there aren't as many people writing patterns like this. You had to look in a book. We can't.
It's not, the pattern isn't even on Ravelry. Like, it's on Ravelry, but it's like, it's in this book. And, several months ago, I saved the book in my Amazon cart, and when I went back to get the book, it was like, it's gone up $19 for the soft cover, and I was like, no. And, I got a used, library book with it. So I was like, woohoo! But it's all written out. There are no charts. And
for the cables and
so stuff. I have Post-its everywhere.
And, small plug while you're figuring out when I'm doing an Understanding Cables class this tomorrow. There's still room in the class. It's in person. Contact the shop.
Yes, your cable classes are awesome because I listened to your cable class before I started knitting.
Knew how to cable before you could knit.
Yes.
So you're making the same pattern twice.
I'm making the same pattern twice. So my sweater is the brown one. And I picked a dark color because everybody's like, nothing shows up on the dark color. It does, and it does gorgeously. It's just whether or not you want to look at the dark colors. And then I decided I wanted to make a second one. So I'm making one for Bernie. And it's marled because it's going to take 14 balls of Cascade 220 superwash, or not superwash, held together. And we don't have 14 balls of one color. So I'm marling it. And it's looking really, really cool.
It is looking cool. I'm curious to see how the cables show up with a marled yarn. I think it's going to be good and awesome, but I also want to show it, show people.
There's the first.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll see it better when you get further.
Yeah, next week it'll look better.
Come on, Liz, get on it.
This is my out here knitting because I've got to do 17 inches of, I don't know. This is the third attempt for a Bernie sweater, so we'll see.
So how long is the torso for one of your sweaters? Because you have the high...
Because I generally crop them. I do about 6 inches on this. I did 7.
And say again for Bernie, you're going to have to do
17 3/4.
Maybe we should just make him a crop sweater. I think he'd look cute in a crop sweater.
I actually, this pattern,
we talked about that for Seth too.
Once I got into it,
so cute in a crop sweater.
Sorry, what? Huh?
Once I got into the pattern, I was like, it's not an entire row of purling, which is the main reason I've never done a piece sweater, is because it's an entire row of purling back across, and it is just complicated enough to keep me interested. But I'm slowly memorizing where everything is, and I have all my Post-it notes.
And
so
that is
just enough to keep me interested, and excited to see what happens next.
As a valid good point that that most cabled pieces, when you're going across the backside, you'll be purling where the cables are, but you might be knitting or doing something else. Because to make cables really pop, you usually put pearls or moss stitch or something that's not knitting on the front side next to it to make them pop. So the back side isn't just knitting. And if it's just purling, oh my gosh, I'm trying to put something on a barber cord and I'm losing my train of thought. My ranunculus on a barber cord. So I can see how that would keep your...
Yeah, it's like, to me, it's just intriguing. Like, there are parts that rows I don't necessarily have to pay attention to. Mm-hmm. I just know if I'm on the front, I can knit almost all the way across, except for the twisty stuff. And there's every other row is a twisty. It's a 1x1 cable.
So there's some fun stuff in there.
Yeah, it's just enough complication to keep me interested and happy, and not enough or not too much purling. And I can actually work on it at work because with my Post-it notes, I have everything written out.
There you go. Okay,
I want a cable sweater. I can't work on it at work. We
have 5 minutes till the shop opens. So, I'm going to show you how my ranunculus is coming. I have so many projects going at once. You just saw the key sweater, which I've made no progress since last week. But at the sit and stitch, and I still need to do the code. At the sit and stitch on Sunday, don't worry, we'll get to it. I bound off my sleeves on my ranunculus. And then the next day, you're ready for the back.
I get ready for the back even when you're on camera and I can't get it.
You watch my other show and go,
I'm like, I need help.
I kind of can do it at home, but it's more complicated. Yeah. So, I did my sleeves. I'm going to stand up to show you all my sleeves on the Sunday after. That's actually my other, no, it is this sweater. Okay. Never mind. I'm doing 2 sweaters that are both in blues right now. So this looks a little floppy because of the barber cord, but I'm now at least an inch. Yeah, it's going to have nice room. The thing with a ranunculus is if you let it have more positive ease, it's going to do a flowy thing, and it's going to be cool. Beautiful. So I decided this is a deviation from the pattern in some ways because the sleeves you get to kind of do your own thing with. If you're not doing true short sleeves, which is binding off, like I hit the end of my first ball of yarn and decided to stop then. I was only like 2 or 3 rows past sleeve separation, and I balled up my second ball of yarn to places where the color matched. So my sleeves could kind of match. It's going in the opposite direction of colors that just happened. And actually, this has settled some since I did it.
It has.
I put it on right after I finished, and I didn't change needles. I did 3 inches of knitting and an inch of ribbing. And I put it on right after I bound off with a sewn bind off. And it was kind of flaring out, and it's settled since then. So I haven't blocked it. Obviously, I'm still working on it. I just hit a knot in my yarn, so I decided it's time to put it on the barber cords. Because Noro sometimes has knots.
Fortunately, it's in the right colors.
Right. Well, I'm actually, sometimes the color change doesn't continue right. And I found so far the few knots in this one, the color change has continued right. I'm going in the opposite direction with the colors now because that's just how I wound it. And these colors, kind of the white, these colors may not be in the rest of the sweater because I'm going to see if I can get through. This is half of my ball that's left. The other half is somewhere. It's going to switch through colors, not in the same order as the top, but I don't think it's going to be noticeable because there's so many busy fun colors in the Noro Sonata Shima. So I want to show you how this was coming. I like by putting a sleeve on it, this is not, it would be open down to about here if I just did the bind off as written for short sleeves, which is easier because you don't have to put stitches on a holder, but I wanted something that had a more defined sleeve.
It's like a vest sleeve if you just bind off.
The green, the grello-y color right here is where the sleeve would have ended if I hadn't kept going. That was sleeve separation, right about there.
And her pattern, it's not like a huge deviation to do short sleeves because her pattern's like if you're doing any sleeve at all.
Any sleeve.
Follow the
she
long
calls it
sleeve.
Long sleeve, but any length of sleeve, 3/4, full length. And she has an I-cord bind off for her sleeves, and she has short rows if you want it to like end at your elbow. I just did an inch of ribbing, but it was a knit through the back loop purl one, like up here. And then I did an Italian sewn bind off, which is not in the instructions, but you can add. I've seen so many different versions of the ranunculus.
Yeah, it's not. It's
you know.
You can recipe it instead of
So no one's shown up yet, which is good because it's a little after 10. And sometimes now that we film on Fridays, sometimes people come for drop-in help. But I promised you a code, so it is technically tonight, but today, the summer solstice.
It's like 10:40 something tonight.
Oh. It's today.
It's today.
I thought it was tomorrow.
Well, it's some
it
people will put it. It's
the
like
middle of the night.
So
well, not the middle.
We're gonna celebrate for 3 days because it's the summer solstice ish. It's the solstices usually happen about the 20th.
20th, 21st.
Yeah. So
What's the thing?
Summer Solstice 25 is what I picked. It is astronomical summer.
It's astronomical summer.
That was going to be hard to spell out and put as a code. So it's summer solstice 25. You're going to save 25% through Sunday, through the end of Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'll try to get a newsletter out today with this. That's why it starts today. Like, you can start using it right away. Sometimes we have codes that say, starting tomorrow. And then people are like, why doesn't the code work? And I'm like, it's because it starts tomorrow. But this will start. I activated it before we started filming. This will save you, summer solstice 25, will save you 25% Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And the 20th and the 21st are the days that if I don't manage to update the online shop, which, let's be honest, what's there is there, and I'll try, but if you want something that's not in the online shop, call us. Not to give us a lot of phone work, but call us, yay! And then Sunday, it's got to be only what's online because we won't be here. So, summer solstice 25, I almost stumbled over that. It'll be buried in the description. So you'll have to watch the video, but it'll be down in the description somewhere as well, just so it's written out for people because I can't spell. I don't expect you to see it once and be able to spell. So, yeah, we should go in case someone comes. June tends to be a kind of slow month, so there aren't people beating down the door right now.
This week has not been busy except for when it is. People will walk in and the phone rings at the exact same time.
Right. And I'm doing a lesson. And I have to be like, excuse me for a second.
It's never busy till it is. And then it's busy. And
so shop early, shop often, and save yourself some money. And go ahead and buy us out of some inventory. Haha. But we're gonna go open the shop right now.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the fun stuff.
Bye.